Hi, Katie. I thought I'd do a quick video peer review of your two programs and kind of use it as an example for everybody about how to go about doing some debugging in Chrome and things like that. So, the first thing I have is I went to the peer review discussion board and I copied your first program and put it into Visual Studio Code, which is my text editor. Now, looking at this, I reviewed the assignment just to make sure I was clear. And on program one, you're supposed to write the defined table and the customer. So you're supposed to take in a customer's subtotal as input. If the subtotal is greater than 50 and today is Tuesday or Wednesday, then you subtract 10% from the subtotal. Then, if it's not Tuesday or Wednesday, you don't subtract the 10%. And then your program should then compute the output by adding a 6% sales tax to the subtotal. Okay? It says we're supposed to get the day of the week this way. 0 is Sunday. That means 1 is Monday and Tuesday, 3 is Wednesday, and so forth. Okay. So looking at your program here, let's look at your defining table, users total bill, and the day of the week. So first thing we need to do is change that a little bit because the assignment said the input should be just the customer's subtotal. So let's go ahead and change your defining table to customers subtotal. And processing, if the day of the week is Tuesday or Wednesday and the bill is over 50, then it calculates a 10% discount plus 6% tax. These conditions are not met, it just calculates a 6% to the subtotal. That is exactly right. And then it outputs the total amount for the groceries. So now let's look at your HTML. What is the total for the customer's bill and what day it is? So we don't need to have them input the day of the week because we get that from the system right here. So we can go ahead and remove that. So we'll take that out of the question, and just to be a little bit more accurate, we want the subtotal for the customer. All right. Let's go ahead and take out that, and that pretty much covers this message. So this variable is called amount. We have a button that calls the discount days function, and the button says subtotal on it, and then you have an output div. All right, I think that's perfectly great. So I double click on this and it highlights this. Also, it highlights the function name, so I know that these two are the exact same word. So that's a bug that we don't have to worry about. So let's look at your variables. Okay, you're grabbing the day of the week from the function getDay from the object date, and that's good. That's what the assignment said. We're getting the amount, and then you have a variable called discount, which is fine, but we don't get it from an element. This is something we're calculating. So let's go ahead and actually, you know what? I'm just going to delete it for now, and then we can come back to it. All right. So here's your if statement. So if the day of the week is 2 or the day of the week is 3 and the amount is greater than or equal to 50. Okay, a couple things I see here. First of all, when you have a single quote, it means assign to the variable day of the week, day of week. Likewise, day of week is assigned the number 3 as well. That's not what we're after. We just want to do a comparison. So to do a comparison, it's a double equals. So both of these should be double equals. So you have day of week is equal to 2 or day of week is equal to 3. That is good. It looks like you have a parenthesis around this and parentheses around that. There's no problem with that. It's just not required to have those parentheses. Normally you'd see it like this. But like I said, it's not going to affect the output. Then we're also checking to see if amount is greater than or equal to $50. What we really care about is just the number, not the dollar sign part of it. Dollar sign is just how we label money, but the computer doesn't care. It's just numbers to the computer. So we should take out the dollar sign so that we're just comparing the amount to the number 50. And you did a parse float, which is just right, so to make sure that what the user enters into the field is turned into a float number and put it into that variable. So one other little thing, I believe in the description, in the description it says if the subtotal is greater than $50. You've got greater than or equal to $50. So we need to make sure that's just greater than $50. Okay. Good. So I like to put my braces down here. You can do it either way. I think Java, it's more customary to put the brace up here. But I learned using other programming languages where it's customary to put them down here. So that's just what I do. It doesn't matter. You can do either one. Okay, now what do we have going on here? So you have an amount times 10% is equal to discount. So it sounds like, I'll put it below your line. This line needs a little help. So let's make a variable called discount. It's equal to amount times, now you said 10%, but as we know for percentages, 10% is the same as saying .10. So 10% is really multiplying it by .1, and that'll give you 10% of the amount. And you put it into a variable called discount. So this is inside the if statement, so what I really want to do is declare this variable outside where you had it. So we'll just, and then we'll just assign it in here. So you have your discount is amount times 0.1. Okay. And then you have an else statement that says and then you take amount minus discount times 6% is equal to a variable called or subtotal is assigned to that. So you have this a little bit backwards. I think what you want is the subtotal to get the amount after you've subtracted the discount. You multiply it by 6%. So let's do that again. We'll declare it up here. We'll just give it a 0 to initialize it. So what you want is subtotal is equal to amount minus discount. Now we want some parentheses around here because we want the subtraction to happen before the multiplication. And then multiply that. And it's 6%, which is the same as multiplying it by 0.06. So we have the amount. So what we have here is actually not the subtotal, but actually the tax. Okay, and that figures out how much tax you're charging the customer, and then subtotal would equal the amount minus the discount minus the tax. So you take the amount that they charged, you subtract the discount out, you subtract the tax out, and you have a subtotal. Okay? And then your else is if they don't get the discount. So again, you have to figure out the tax. I don't want to be too confusing here, so I'm going to declare this variable up here, initialize it again to 0. If it's initialized up top, or created up top, then we don't create it down below. Then tax is equal to amount times the 0.06, and then subtotal is equal to amount minus discount, or sorry, minus tax. Then, when everything is said and done, right here, you set your output inner HTML to subtotal. And that should be correct. So let's take out this guy, because we kind of redid it a little bit. So if the day of the week is something that we haven't done yet, is you need to group these comparisons together. So the way it's written right here is if the day of the week is 2, or the day of the week is 3, and amount is greater than 50. What I would do, the order of operations may make this work out right, but I'd group your ors together and then and it to amount of is greater than 50. Order of operations with booleans can be very confusing. It's something I always do when I have ors and ands together, is I group my ors together, and then you take that whole thing and you and it to the comparison to the amount. So if the day of the week is 2 or the day of the week is 3, so if either one of those is true, then this whole section becomes true, and then you're going to and amount is equal to 50. So if this is true and this is true, then you'll go into the if block. If day of the week is 1, then this would be false, and amount is greater than 50. Say it is. So it'd be a false and a true. So we'd go to the else block, because that doesn't. They're not both true. The and needs both sides, both the left and the right of this and needs to be true in order for going to the if block. So if the day of the week is 7, well, I guess it won't ever be 7, but 6. Then this block will be false, and this one would be true. Say the amount is, say the day of the week is 2, but the amount is 25. Then this block would be true, and this block would be false. So again, it wouldn't come in here. It all has to be satisfied in order to make this work. So I like to group my ors together before I and them. Now let's go ahead and save this. I've got Chrome up here. Alright, let's go ahead and check to see if it works. So let's say it's 25. So bringing up our calculator, what would we expect here? Well, we need the tax, 25 times 0.06 is $1.50. So there is no discount, so it'd be 25 minus $1.50. So we would expect it to tell us $23.50. So let's go ahead and hit this. Okay, nothing's happening. So let's go ahead and go into our developer tools and try to figure out why it's not working. Alright, so it doesn't understand what this is. And that's because you have a get I think what you really want is document dot get element by ID. Yeah. All right. That is something that the browser can understand. So let's bring up Chrome again and refresh it. All right. So we don't have any red lines. That's good. 25. Remember, we're expecting it to say $23.50 and $23.23.5. Perfect. Now let's see if it is have it over 50, so $51. What would we expect? Well, let's just do 100. That's easy. So 100 times 0.06, what is it? It would be $6. So subtract that from 100. So we'd be expecting $94. Let's go ahead and check it. 94 exactly. Now, it's Thursday. It's not Tuesday or Wednesday. So we can't test this other part of the code, right? Well, you can. You just need to force it to pretend that the day of the week is Tuesday or Wednesday. So let's, again, bring up the code. So we're just going to put in a temporary line here. So right now, the day of the week is 4 because it's Thursday, right? Well, what if we just put in here that it's actually Tuesday? Okay, we got the real day of the week up here, but then we changed it on our own just to force it to be Tuesday. So now it should go inside this if block. All right, hit save. Let's refresh. Okay, now we should be getting a discount. So we should not only be getting the tax. I see a fundamental problem with my math, but we'll get back to that. You guys have probably been yelling at the video screen this whole time. Tax is added on, not subtracted out. We'll change that in a sec. But anyways, in order to see what's going on here, so we're going to say it's quote Tuesday because we forced that in the code. So we'll take a 10% discount. So that'd be $10. So 100 minus 10 is obviously 90. Okay, then we take the tax of that. It's $5.40. So 90 minus 5.4. I know it's supposed to be added, but we'll get back. We'll fix that. 84.60. 84.6. So let's see if that's what it says. It does. So the program's doing exactly what we asked it to do, but what we asked it to do is incorrect because I wasn't thinking it through. So tax is something you add. You don't subtract it. Okay, we'll make this change. We'll refresh it. Okay, now let's look at $100. It'd be minus 10 for the discount, so that's 90. Then plus, is it 5.4? No, now you can't remember what I'd had. 0.06 plus 90. So it should be 95.4. 95.4. That's exactly what we're after. Just to make sure it works on Wednesday, let's go ahead and hit save on that. Refresh it. So it should again say 95.4, which it does. Alright, let's go ahead and take that out. You don't want to accidentally leave this in when you submit your code. Okay, I went ahead and saved that. Now it should do it should output the amount without the discount because again it's Thursday. So 100, 6% of 106, so it'd be $106. $106. There you go. So this code should work for you. Now, let's look at your other assignment. Okay, I'm going to go ahead. I do this just to make it easy on me. I'm going to go ahead and copy that and replace this. That way I'm saving it to the same file. I'm refreshing it to the same file in the browser. It just saves me a couple steps. Okay. So on this one, let's look at the assignment. Write a defining table, then a program determines if it's sleep or not. Okay, if it's Monday through Friday, you have to get up. You have to actually write the exact string get up exclamation mark. If it's a weekend, so if the day of the week is 0 or 6, or a holiday, so it needs to be January 1st, July 4th in the US, or Christmas, December 25th, then you need to output the string sleep in period. Make sure you do it exactly how it says here, so the auto grader knows what to expect. Okay, so it gives you some variables here for getting the days of the week. And okay, let's go ahead and look at your code. So you input. So you have the input of the day of the week. We actually don't have to input anything. We're just getting the current day of the week from the function date. Processing, determine the day of the week. Compare the day with to determine if it's a weekend or holiday. 11 7/4 or 12/25. Okay, and then if the user gets to sleep in or not, I'd actually put the exact strings in here. In or get up. Good. Just so we don't forget. Okay, some quick things. Sleep in, you got those matching. Output div. Those are just some common bugs, and so it's just nice to get it out of the way from the very beginning to check those. Okay, we don't need any of these inputs because we're getting all the inputs that we need from the current date, from this right here. So all we need is a button to make things go. So you went ahead and copied these. That's perfect. So we know the month number, which is a little weird, but it's 0, 1, 2, 3 through 11, not 1 through 12 like we normally think. So we have the day of the month, and then the day of the week. Again, it starts with 0 and goes through 6. Then you have a message. That's ready to get populated. Okay, let's look at your if statement. So if the day of the week is 0 or the day of the week is 6, so it looks like we're trying to figure out whether we're going to sleep in or not. Or the month is 0. I'm changing all your single equals to double equals because these are comparisons. Your logic has a few little issues, so we'll check this out here in just a second. Alright, there's lots of ways you can do this, but let's just kind of work with what you've got going on right here. So, if the day of the week is 0 or the day of the week is 6, so no matter what, you want it to sleep in regardless of whether it's a holiday or not, because it's a weekend. So, yeah, the day of the week is equal to 0, or the day of the week. Where are we getting that? Oh, the whole thing has to be wrapped in parentheses. So that's why you're getting a little red line underneath the or. Or, sorry I got interrupted there. All right, let's get back to this. Day of the week is equal to 0 or 6. That should always be a sleep in. So just to simplify this, what if we just did this? Message equals sleep in. Okay. Else, if it's a weekend, it'll always be a sleep in. So we're first checking to see if it's January 1st. 0 is January. Day of the month is 1, so that's January 1st. Or if the month is 6, which is July 4th. Or if you just kind of stack them like this, makes it a little easier to read. Month is 11, that's December. Day of the month is 25. Then message is also sleeping. Oh, instead of colon, we need a equals here. Good. Else, if none of those things are true, then you just got to get up. Just like that. Let's throw our semicolons in at the end of our lines. Good. And then we're going to output whatever is in message. So the day of the week is 0, Sunday, or day of the week is 6 for Saturday. Then our message is sleep in. Else if, oh, we're missing a curly brace. No, I'm sorry. We're not. My bad. Month is 0, day of the month is 1, or month is 6 and day of the month is 4, or month is 11 and day of the month is 25. Then you also sleep in. Else, get up. Then you output it to your message to the div. All right, this looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and hit save and refresh. Okay, right now we just have a submit. You can see that this all changed. We don't have any little red underlines, so that's a good sign. Hit submit. Get up. Why does it say get up? Well, because it is Thursday and it's not a holiday. All right, how do we test if our holidays, and how do we test our weekends? So first let's test our weekends, and we do the same thing that we did last time, where we override day of the week to be 0. So it doesn't matter what it actually is, we're going to override that and say, no, it is 0. So let's save that, refresh, hit sleep in, or submit, and we get a sleep in because it is quote unquote Sunday today. Okay, let's try our other option. 6. Save that, refresh, hit submit, and Sunday or Saturday would be a sleep in day. Good. Now let's try something different. We gotta test our holidays, right? So for holidays, I'll remove that. For holidays, we have to change both the month, override both the month and the day of month. So let's first test to see if it'll work on New Year's Day. Hit save, come in here, refresh, hit submit, sleep in. That's what we're expecting. Okay, let's try July 4th. 6, 4, refresh, hit submit. Again, it should say sleep in, and it does. Good. One more holiday to check. It's Christmas. Refresh, and submit, and sleep in. Cool. And then let's remove our overrides just to make sure it still works. It should say get up, save, because you don't want to accidentally submit it with those overrides in. Submit, get up. Okay. Just by way of familiarity with the debugger, I'm going to go ahead and put a breakpoint in so we can see exactly what's going on. So if we hit submit, we know that now is Thursday, October 26th, 2017. The month is 9. Day of the month is 26. Day of the week is 4. Message has not been defined. Doesn't have anything in it yet. So first, we're going to check to see if day of the week is 0 or 6, which is, it's 4, so no, either. So we'll step out of that because it skipped over because it's not 0 or 6. So now we're going to check our month is not any of these. Guess we have no holidays this month. And none of these will match up, so we don't expect it to come in here. So we're under else. You got to get up. The default is get up. And then we set it to the inner HTML of output div. That's what we get. All right. I hope this helps everybody, not only Katie, in how you put together these programs and how you use the debugger. So I hope that helps.